In the colorful future, a cab driver unwittingly becomes the central figure in the search for a legendary cosmic weapon to keep evil and Mr. Zorg at bay. Boys, girls, etc., this week, say hello to my little film, The Fifth Element.
You want to play rough? Okay. No. Say hello to my little
Film.
Hey.
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 Welcome to our pod. I'm just going
Cast.
to call it a pod. This is the pod.
Let's do it. Let's trade words
Okay.
or syllables.
Okay.
Well.
Okay. You're going to start.
Welcome
Come.
to
Our
pod.
cast.
Yes.
No.
Maybe.
It's up to you to decide.
Let's do it one more time, and let's say the name of the podcast also.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Bye.
you goober.
I'm a little
Oh
nincompoop.
my gosh.
I'm in a weird mood, kind of hyper, because this movie is so because of the movie.
Yeah, the movie is fucking weird.
But let's do this. We can nail it. Okay.
Ready? You want to try it for real?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Come.
to
Our
pod.
cast.
Say
Hello.
syllables.
Oh shit.
One more time. Last try.
No. Let's not start from the beginning. Let's just start with the name of our podcast.
I want to start from the beginning.
Ugh.
If we're going to do it, let's do it right.
Okay.
Well,
Come.
to
Our
pod.
cast.
Say,
Hello
oh,
to
my
film.
little. What? We're awesome.
What?
We're awesome.
Oh yeah. So not losers. So the opposite of that. I'm Ariel.
I'm Ryan.
This is the podcast where we watch the movies that you just high off to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Remember that rap song Nelly did with
I will never forget.
who, Tim McGraw?
Yeah, I think some country
You just said you'll never
I'll never
forget.
forget the song. I have no idea what the country singer's name is.
I love when
That sounds right though.
rap and country.
They weirdly go together because
love
they're
it.
all about drinking and money and dogs.
Yeah, that rap
Wait, that's
song
just
about
country.
dogs. No,
Well-
they bark a lot in rap songs. DMX in particular.
Well, then what do they have in common? Just the money thing?
I
Just
don't know.
drinking?
I don't know. man. You know what? I think they just love life.
just love
living every day. Yay. They're about
Yeehaw.
partying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. They party.
They like to get
That's
down.
what it is. Yeah. You getting chicks.
Hey. Yeah.
And I
Getting
don't
chicks.
mean little baby chickens.
So, what's up, babe?
Well, it's Easter. Not that we celebrate Easter, but we did go to the zoo today
Yep.
with Easter. With our friend Easter.
What's wrong with you?
I can't talk today, which is not good for a podcast.
Nope.
For Easter with our son and
Don't get all NPR on it now.
with our son and you.
We went to the zoo
You're listening to Serial.
today with our Easter.
That is Parks and Rec's rendition of NPR. That's not even what they really sound like.
It's pretty close.
Although I remember being a little girl and in the car, and my grandpa listened to it, and it would be like they have commercials for it itself, kind of like Spotify. So if you listen to it, you'll hear like commercials for NPR. At least that's how it was in the 90s or early 2000s. And I just remember it very robotic, like, this is NPR, National Public Radio.
Ugh. What is that? It's like in the back of their throat.
I know, but it's almost nasally too.
NPR.
It's really fun to talk that way, though.
Yeah, it does make me feel superior to everybody.
Well, you kind of are when you have that tone.
Yeah.
And when you're talking on the radio.
I'd like a quarter pounder with cheese.
And if you can't talk on the radio, the next best thing is a podcast.
That's true.
Yep. They dumbed
That's
it down so
true.
everyone can do it.
That's true.
There's no gatekeeping. Literally anyone can do it.
That's true too.
You just need your laptop, I guess. Because you don't even really need a mic if you're really amateur. Right? Can't you just speak into your laptop?
Yes,
Sounds like
but that's a mic. Still.
Dookie. Well, okay, but it's not like a separate mic.
You mean not like these professional mics that we're using?
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean. Other than our zoo trip was good though. I mean, it was kind of hectic, but it was good. That's all that's up with me, really. What's up with you?
You You know, while we were at the zoo, I kind of was struggling with my morals.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the zoo? Do you
It's
think
very
that's okay?
complicated for me because, I used to work in an aquarium, and then I worked at a place that was had an aquarium and kind of had like some more dry land animals like reptiles and things. But it wasn't really a zoo. It was like a museum, but it had like a living collection. And
Ew.
I interned at a
living
zoo.
collection.
That's what we were called. That's the name of the department, is living
Ugh.
collections. And then I interned at a zoo also. So like that was what I thought my career path was going to be. And so when I was really deep into it, I was like, oh, zoos are good. Aquariums are good because they provide so much education
Boom.
about conservation and about these animals.
See, you hit the nail right on the head.
Yeah.
That I was baiting you.
That's
In a way.
what you're like told
That's what
when you
tell
work.
yourself.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything today?
I mean, I didn't.
More importantly, did any of these children, these snot-nosed little fucks running around, did they learn anything?
I mean, I don't
No.
know. They have like
They got all
educational programs.
They got
and
hopped
stuff.
up on fucking soda pop and ran around.
Soda pop
and
and Dippin'
were-
Dots.
Yeah, and Dippin' Dots, and got their sugar fucking hands all over rails and glass, and just like tried to scare snakes and stuff, and looked at a tiger.
Tap, tap, tap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't learn shit at the zoo. That's
Okay,
what I've
but-
learned.
Okay,
I
but
did
at the
learn
places
something.
that I worked, they had like school groups come in, and they were like educational presentations.
I
to
remember
them.
being on those.
So they try to teach the kids stuff. I mean,
I think it's a failed experiment.
well, it's just like, and the other piece of that zoos and aquariums have going for them is that they help populations of animals that are endangered. They help them breed. They're like part of breeding programs.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be beneficial to the world, right?
I don't know. I think.
I mean,
isn't-
seeing as a lot of the like devastation to, animal species is because of humans.
Isn't no intervention like the best policy?
I think unless it's the case of they're becoming extinct because of us.
Oh, so we've intervened, so it's our responsibility to fix it? is what
Yeah,
you're
or
saying?
at least try.
So the way we're fixing it is by keeping them.
They're in captivity so that we can monitor their breeding. I mean, this is not the case for every zoo. And I think it's mostly just nonprofit zoos, but they have like a national program, and it might even be international, but I don't know for sure if it is. But so that's kind of good, I guess. But
I
on
don't
a
know,
personal
just looking
level,
at those gorillas
on a
just
personal
laying
level,
on concrete,
I don't like it.
it's not a good look.
No, and it's the zoo we went to, we're in South Carolina. The zoo we went to used to have a polar bear, and I'm like,
Oof.
come on, this is South Carolina. Like,
Yeah, that's redonkulous.
it cannot have an outdoor exhibit, and it did. And I mean, after a long time, it died. I don't know why it died.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
In the zoo?
yeah,
Because of the...
I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it was old or if it got sick, but you can look it up, I'm sure, because it was all over the news at the time.
Damn.
Yeah.
It was all over the news?
Yeah, but I mean, I was like in 5th grade, so I didn't really pay attention. I just remember they used to have a polar bear, and I always was like, this is such a hot environment. This is terrible.
Yeah.
It's like when you see people that have huskies,
Mm-hmm.
I always feel bad, and I love huskies.
Me too.
And I always wanted one,
Yeah.
but I would feel real guilty being in the South.
Yeah, they'd be
with
sweating.
one.
If they
Although
could.
the way their fur is supposed to keep them cool, so maybe they're okay. I hope so.
Well, speaking of cool...
Mm-hmm. Let's not talk about science. This is the most
Or-
boring conversation ever.
Yeah, I kind of was zoning out a little
Sorry.
bit, honestly.
I know a lot about this topic, though.
Yeah. But speaking of cool,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, we watched a pretty cool movie.
Mm-hmm. This movie was radical.
We watched The Fifth Element.
This movie was unbelievable.
This,
What a weird thing to watch.
yeah. I remember, all I know of this movie was it would be like on cable.
Mm-hmm.
And like as I'm kind of flipping through channels, back when I did that, I would flip through channels.
Back in the day.
Yeah, and I'd go to the TV Guide channel and I'd see.
Ooh, you'd watch the scrolling guide?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
it's the only way to know
That
what was
gives me
on.
such like hotel flashbacks
Yeah,
of
yeah.
being like a little kid on vacation with your parents.
Well, that was my life for a little while.
Yeah.
And I would see The Fifth Element like always, like I never caught the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It would always be like 3/4 of the way done, and I've seen the ending part a bunch, and I knew
Yeah,
that
you've
pretty
talked to
seriously.
me about the like opera scene. You've
Yeah.
talked to me about that before, like just offhand.
Because that's the part I've seen pretty much only. And I never really understood what the fuck was going on, but
It seems like one of those movies where, as a kid, you would catch parts of it and not know what the fuck is happening.
it's exactly what that is. And so I've always people, it's got Bruce Willis in it, huge star,
Chris Tucker
and Chris Tucker.
and Gary
Oh
Oldman.
my god. And Gary Oldman.
And
oh my god.
Mila Jovovich, which I think that's how you pronounce her last name.
We'll call her Mila.
Unless for this, yeah.
Yeah.
be
And
safe
her like bandaged suit
about it.
is iconic.
Yeah,
I see that at like
cosplay and stuff.
and like Comic-Con people, yeah.
Well, and she's kind of big in that community too, I think, because of her stuff in Resident Evil.
right.
And since that's a video game too, But like, she's also in The Fourth Kind.
Okay.
And I never saw that, so I don't know. She likes to be in movies where there's a number featured. The Fifth Element. The Fourth Kind.
Resident
Evil
Evil
2.
Whoa. All
But,
right.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
What a babe, by the way.
Smoking, huh?
They keep talking about, in the movie, they say it like a bunch of times, perfect.
Well,
She's perfect.
yeah. Okay, so do you want to take a stat? Hold on. First, I want to know what you knew about the movie.
All I knew is I knew there was like some weird alien song scene because you've mentioned it before.
Right.
I thought for sure there was like a girl with dreads, and you were like, what? No. But then what I realized is I mixed up Mila's character. Her hair is like there's maybe some dreads in it. It's like twisted or something if you look really closely.
Okay.
But that's not what I was thinking of. And then, but the alien that sings the opera song has like these big cords coming out of her head.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was mixing it up at. Like I was thinking of that and thought they were dreads for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Because my mind was like, well, cords don't stick out of people's heads, so it must be hair.
Okay. Even though it was blue.
I didn't really remember that part. So
Okay.
and then
Weird thing that you remember.
I just what the
Whatever.
hell?
The mind is weird.
And then that it was a sci-fi, which it is, I guess, kind of.
What? Yeah. It's.
I mean, but it's also like a comedy. It's also an adventure film.
So you're still saying what you were speculating
Yeah,
about
yeah,
the
yeah.
movie?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And then this is really really real stupid.
Okay.
But I wrote down The Fifth Element. What are the first four?
It's not that stupid.
And then they said it in the first scene. Earth,
And you
wind,
went,
water, and
"Oh."
fire. And I was like, oh, I was thinking of the periodic table of elements.
Yeah.
Like a Dumbo. So
No, I feel like I figured out. I figured that's what was confusing you.
yeah, I don't want like that to get out. So don't tell anybody.
I'll keep. It'll be our secret.
No one will know that I'm so dumb.
So that was it. You were
That's
just like,
all I
what's
knew.
the fifth element?
Yeah, and I still like don't really know what the fifth element is. Like I know it was Mila, but like
Yeah,
what is it?
It's fucking bullshit. Is what it is.
It's an alien? Is it
It's-
an ancient being?
It's a light from. Take a stab at this plot for me. Nutshell this movie for me.
Okay. So everything that I'm not starting the nutshell yet.
Okay.
Just
Let me
before
know.
I start the nutshell.
Yeah, so pre-nutshell.
Prenuptial.
Boo! Ugh.
Oh yeah, well,
Making me gag.
you know what? You're not Mr. Jokester today. Someone has to step to the plate.
Okay. No, keep stepping, keep swinging. Prenuptial.
I feel like it sounded like it. Whatever. I feel like everything that happens to Bruce Willis in this movie is complete accident. Right?
Hold on, are you?
No,
is
I'm
this-
not
okay.
nutshelling. I just feel like he kind of tumbles his way through this movie
Well,
until the very, very end.
He
when
does have like experience.
Yeah, that's so glazed over. It's bizarre.
It's bizarre.
Anyway, so to nutshell this movie, I guess I would say, because who's the main character? Him?
I'm gonna nutshell it
Okay.
because you're doing a very poor job at it. I'm gonna nutshell it. It's in 1914 Egypt. Aliens come down and take a
Sorry, do you mean the giant beetles?
giant beetle aliens take a tomb containing a
it's
perfect. Let me nutshell it.
Hang on, I have to sidebar.
Okay.
It's the only structure in like the 20 surrounding miles in Egypt. This is not like in a city like in
No, it's
Egypt.
in like a weird
It's in just a
building.
desert. Yeah.
they take a tomb containing a perfect being, which is used to trigger, which is the fifth element, is this perfect being, which is used to fight off a weapon that every 300 years the planets align.
It's not every 300 years. It's like every thousands, like 4,000 or something. It just happened to be in the next 300 years.
Oh, okay. So every however many thousand years,
like 25,000
the planets align in a specific way, releasing this evil and chaos, which takes the form of a giant black sphere that glows and can make telephone calls.
And is named Mr. Shadow.
And named Mr. Shadow. And then this responsibility somehow falls into an ex-military guy, now taxi cab driver's hands, and it's up to him to make sure that he can get the perfect being.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of side stories. Because you left
so
out the
many.
part of the priests, which is a huge part, right?
This fucking movie feels like it's 50 movies combined.
It's really...
It seriously seems like a movie studio had like a bunch of scripts, and they were like,
Let's
what
just do
are
all
we
of them.
going to make? And they were like, let's take page 2 out of this one, page 7 out of this one, page 14 out of this one, and just mash it together.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane.
It's really crazy. So let's start from let's talk about the introduction in general.
Okay.
So when it shows the flashback in 1914, my first note is Billy's a little shit. Do you even remember who Billy is? He's that guy who was with the explorer, the young guy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why I wrote that down. I thought it would be important. I thought maybe
yeah, they spend, I don't know, like 20 minutes here.
Yes.
It's like a whole lot of setup, and then Aziz won't keep the fucking light straight.
Yeah. It reminded me of The Mummy.
Yeah. Well,
but I don't get... I mean, it's all super mystical and magical, and I don't... it's never really explained what the evil power is.
Of course not.
It's so...
If they got into that at all.
What does it do? It just sucks? Is it a black hole?
Well, it was sucking all of the satellites in the universe at one point.
Oh, believable.
I mean...
In this world, in the future part, once it fast forwards 300 years, in this world that they set up, all the humans still live on Earth, but you can go to different planets.
Yeah.
And, I mean, these planets that you can go to are not in our solar system.
Right, you can travel through light years.
There's no planet named Folston.
Mm-hmm.
That's so far away. So, I don't. It's and they're just cool with all these different alien species. It's really. I wish the world that they created is really cool, and they do a really good job. Honestly,
that's the kind of, I think, the most interesting part to me about this movie is I kind of love it.
Yeah, it's weird.
I know I just explained that a hodgepodge of hot baby shit, but it is kind of awesome.
It's kind of great, and it's one of those movies that you're never bored. You're never oh, how much longer do I have of this? It is super exciting and super fun. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, and the lack of CGI I found
I didn't even notice that. I didn't even think about that, but you're totally right.
Imagine if they ever try to remake this movie.
Please don't.
With CGI.
Hollywood.
Attention,
don't.
Hollywood.
Psst.
Don't. I'm all that would put a fucking horrible alert system.
I am.
If it was attention.
Psst. Hollywood picks up the phone. Oh, it's our alert system. They have the red phone.
And it says, "Psst, don't do it.
Don't remake it."
Yeah, if you get your when you get a tornado warning or a flash flood warning on your phone. Psst, don't do it.
It's free real estate.
It's free real estate.
I knew you were gonna do that. So and then he figures it out, and the priest that's there is gonna kill them. He's going to poison them.
Mm-hmm.
That seems really brutal.
And why?
Because he figures it out.
So?
The explorer guy. I know. Why can't he know? It's some secret. And then so when the aliens did arrive, I thought, oh, are they their friends? Because they're super friendly.
They are.
They march in scary, kind of like the aliens in Hitchhiker's Guide. That's what they reminded me of.
It totally reminded me of that too.
But they weren't evil. They were malevolent, or not malevolent, benevolent, and friends with the priest.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say beetle, because it's definitely way more turkey.
Turkey? Do you mean peacock?
No, I mean robotic turkey.
I don't know how you get any kind of bird from that. I was thinking of like their big shell and they have their little arms in the front.
Yeah, they have the bird head though.
Yeah, they do. I wasn't even thinking about their head.
Yeah, they're like robotic turkeys.
They're just but their head is like so small. I guess I wasn't taking it into account. To me, they look like giant
beetles. Can't forget about their head. You know, I think I described. Did I describe Ed 209 as a robotic turkey also?
I don't remember you saying turkey, but maybe you did.
Oh my god. Do I think all robots look like turkeys?
Ryan, turkeys are an organic thing. They are not robots.
Oh man.
Mind blown. And I was like, oh good, they speak English, because they just started speaking English, and I'm like,
whatever. Well, okay, so they did put the perfect being on Earth though. So and that priest who was gonna poison the other priests somehow.
The explorer, you mean? He's like an explorer. I don't think he was a priest. The old man.
Okay, well, he was like, it was
like
his
a scholar.
responsibility to keep it under wraps. He was going to kill the other guys.
The priest was, yeah.
No, I'm talking about the priest,
Yeah.
not the explorer.
Okay.
The priest had somehow known about these aliens, so they had made contact before, so they had some understanding of language.
Okay.
He was already protecting something. Yeah. So
my question is, did they just come by Earth every 25,000 years just to see what's up? Why'd they come down? You know, did they sense that he was that someone else was learning?
Why did they need to move it? Because the guy was fucking found it out. And if they don't want someone to find it out, why are you leaving fucking clues all over the place?
There's like literally a map on the wall that he was easily interpreting.
Yeah. Actually, but I mean, good God, like, it's pretty obvious. Like, he's like looking at this thing. And by the way, the light is okay. Like, I don't know why he needs.
Yeah, it's
Aziz
bright enough in there.
Yeah, that was annoying. Aziz can take a nap. You know? But yeah, it's like showing like hieroglyphs, and it's like it shows the planets aligning, and it shows like a straight line, and then the line turns into a snake.
Yeah, like the dark mark.
And scatters. Yeah, and it's like, and then it'll release chaos and everybody. And it's like, he gets it. I don't know. He keeps saying, he realized something great. Yeah, and it's like,
and he's like, to fame, like that's gonna make him rich and famous. I don't know how.
The guy puts poison in his water, and he's like, you can't. He's about to drink it, and yeah, that fucking priest was so obvious.
I know
about his poisoning.
He was like staring him down. He was like, "Go ahead, have a sip."
Just like zooming in on his like wide eyes.
That was hilarious.
He's like,
and then he was like, "No, get the wine or whatever."
Yeah, he's like, "You can't." He throws it out. By the way, no one would ever. You're in the desert.
It's Egypt.
You're
Save
gonna drink
your water.
Yeah, he's just wasting it. You can't toast with water.
So yeah, I was confused about that. But then, then they get into their little tussle, and gunfire goes out, which triggers the walls closing. That is the mechanism.
I didn't even.
Why would they have closed? That. They didn't start closing until.
Well, hold on. So the guy shoots him because he's scared.
Yeah, even though the priest is like, no, I can explain. He's my
like,
friend.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Even though he just tried to kill him, but he doesn't know.
Well, he doesn't know that.
So he's stumbling.
So we're talking about Billy right now.
Oh, that's Billy.
It's Billy.
Okay. Yeah,
but at
Billy
first he was a little
bitch.
shit, but then he kind of turns it around once they start celebrating. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So he's walking backwards and he's firing his gun, and he's like, there are aliens and I'm scared.
Yeah,
and
I mean, can you imagine?
Yeah, so he trips, and then hold on, he was scared because they killed.
Yeah, they killed the old guy.
Why?
I don't know.
And how?
I thought they just knocked him out because it looked like they just like kind of knocked him in the head when they walked by.
Doing anything to him.
And I mean, it's not like a very obvious scene, but like then he checks on him, so he must really be dead and not just knocked out. And then he's like, "You killed him," and Freak is freaking out.
Yeah, so he shoots. You're right.
Right.
He just falls. He shoots the thing, and the thing doesn't even really react too much.
No, it doesn't hurt him.
It's armor and shit. So, and then it's just the front walls.
And then I'm like, okay, maybe it was the fact that they moved the fifth element. That's what triggered. Like it was on a timer.
And it was just bad timing. Yeah. The guy was distracted.
But it doesn't explain that. So it seems like the reason why the walls close in is because the gunfire went off.
So as the walls are closing, this guy's like, well, you have to get out. And the guy says, there is no time, only life.
Or it's not. Well, yeah, something like that. Some
only
variation.
Life is important now or something.
Yeah.
And sticks it he makes only his hand fit through his finger.
The priest is like, you have time. And he's like, no.
Yeah, I have no time. And then the door's shut.
And breaks off the key.
On his finger.
Yeah.
And a little key goes out of his
Did
finger.
it remind you of the little like white flag that would poke out of a gun in the Looney Tunes? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but no.
Oh,
It didn't remind me of that. It's like a gold,
like a skeleton key.
Yeah, it's like a key with like 3 sides.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to explain it.
That's because it's a future key.
Yeah.
And you can't process that dimension because you're not in the future.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So then it goes forward 300 years.
Yeah, so that scene
I felt like I still
nothing.
knew nothing after that happened.
Yeah, I was like, what? I don't even know if it's useful.
It's not. I mean, no, it's not. I feel like if it had started at the next scene, it would be fine. Except the only thing we wouldn't know is that how this new priest knows anything.
Yeah.
Because
it seems like that could have been summed up in like a little bit of dialogue.
Yeah, or an email. Just email us.
Yeah. That was such... I mean, this is the intro of the movie. We're talking about...
It's a lot to process.
In Egypt, aliens are coming down. They're moving a fifth
But
element.
I mean, if you think about like the opening scene of Indiana Jones.
I don't know.
Oh, that's one you haven't seen.
Yeah.
Ooh. Buckle up your seatbelts. That's going to be one of our movies. One of our films.
Buckle up your seatbelts.
Make sure they buckled before you
Guys, if
enter
you're
the
driving,
ride.
put on your fucking seatbelt.
What are you doing?
Stop. Pull the fuck over.
Get off your phone.
Get the fuck off your phone.
Side note.
Buckle up.
Put your seatbelt on.
Jesus.
Make sure your airbags are turned on.
What if we saved someone's life today?
You know what? I think we did.
Me too.
And I felt God in this, Julius, tonight.
Okay.
Anywho.
So then so that was the introduction to the movie.
Welcome to Fifth Element Land.
I mean, my mind was
I was just like, I kind of decided,
mush.
okay, so this is going to be like, I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
So then.
That's a good feeling though, right?
Yeah, it's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're like landed into this, is it a spaceship that the president is in?
What the fuck is wrong with the president?
The president,
The
I feel
president
like
is
that guy has played that role in so many movies, right?
The president?
Or like some kind of position of power.
No, that guy always plays like the scary guy in a prison yard who you.
Oh, you're totally right. Wait,
like-
are you just thinking of The Longest Yard?
No, because I don't think he's in that.
Are you thinking of The Green Mile?
No, that's a different giant black man.
Okay, cool.
'Cause
Learning
he
a lot
has
of
that
things about
scary-
myself.
He has that scary eye.
Yeah,
You know, it's like
yeah.
you'll be in prison the first day and you'll like drop like the basketball or something and it'll bounce and then it'll show the basketball bouncing and then the
His
foot will catch it.
And it's a boot.
And then it's a giant boot and then the guy will be like, "Whoa," and the camera will pan up and it's this guy.
Are you missing something?
You missing something, sucker?
I can't imagine him saying sucker. But he was a pretty good president. So, I was like, all right.
He was not a good president. He was a piece of shit.
No, but I mean, it's the president. So he played that part well. I mean, the president is usually the most ineffective, like, dildo in America. I mean,
Yeah.
I've never been like, yeah, like, it's just a figurehead.
Yeah.
So I feel like he did that part justice, honestly.
Okay.
But that's not really, I mean, he's got such a minor part. And so I guess that they're discovering that the evil is arriving first.
So
that's when they're in a ship.
Okay, so we have in the God damn it, this movie is such a
It's
fuck.
all over the place. It's honestly really hard to talk about because it's so insane.
Yeah.
And if you don't watch it, it's going to be difficult to know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, we sound like lunatics right now.
We sound like conspiracy theory majors.
So the prediction that the explorer was uncovering has now come to fruition.
It's 300 years later.
Yeah, it's 300 years later, so the planets have aligned in this magical way. And then a giant planet-sized black goop.
It just looks like a black planet, but
Like
it
a
kind of
black
looks fiery.
morphing
Yeah, it's
planet.
it's growing.
Like a black hole sun.
Yeah, but it's growing.
It's growing and it's named Mr. Shadow and it can make phone calls.
Yeah. It has control over airwaves.
When it fucking made the phone call.
Do you remember a line that it says? I
It
don't
says
remember.
like, "It's me, Mr. Shadow."
Mr.
I
love
kind
how
of-
Gary Oldman he was very terrified to talk to him. He was,
Yeah.
I mean, he was like started bleeding.
What was that?
I
'Cause
don't know.
It wasn't blood. It was
'cause
like
was it his
motor oil.
helmet like squeezing his head? I don't understand. Because Gary Oldman looks so like fucking fucked in this movie. Like it's when you first see it, I think I let like a guffaw escape my mouth
Yeah, like a true guffaw.
because it's And like I've seen him in Bram Stoker's Dracula, so I've seen him look ridiculous. He has, I don't know if you've ever seen that movie,
I haven't.
but he has like a butt on top of his head,
Oh my god.
and it's his hair, and he's all white. He's Dracula.
What?
It's so crazy, and I thought this was more
the
whacked
hairy
out.
butt head on it?
He straight up is a butthead in that movie.
I want to see.
You have to see that movie.
Let's pause this and then
Let's go watch it.
Let's go watch
You know
it.
what?
Actually, yeah, let's do that.
Well, let's take a break really quick, and then we'll get into like Mr. Shadow.
Jesus, yeah, we barely have touched the
I mean,
surface.
there's so much to tackle here, and we really only have like 30 more minutes, so
Yeah.
we're gonna try to like hit the main points and
Okay. Buckle your seatbelts.
BRB.
Film.
Hey,
Hey.
hey,
Hey.
and we're back.
Hey. 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 Hey.
Oh
hey.
boy, so
What?
I'm just trying to think of like how, like where to start.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start. Let's go. Let's hit it.
Let's go. All right, we're gonna have to assume that you've seen this movie, and we're just gonna fucking pound through this.
It is so
because-
complicated that
fuck
if we
me.
were to go through all of it, this podcast would be like 3 hours long. Even though the
Fuck.
movie itself is only 2 hours.
Okay, so we get introduced to Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis. Oh
He's-
shit, that's Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis is the fucking man.
Yeah, he's good in everything except for like Die Hard 5.
He's super good in this.
Yeah, he is. He's like the perfect role. This is when he still has some hair.
Yeah.
Good stuff, even though it's dyed blonde.
Yeah.
Oh, and like this world, like New York, is so high
Future
up.
New York.
Yeah, like it's built way up, right?
It's well because there's some like
There's like
there's
a
so
fog.
much about the world that I don't
Sorry, I just
know.
hit the mic every time.
No, I think it was me last time.
Okay, yeah, but
yeah, like there's a fog that's
there's so many details, and then like
Mm-hmm.
when they were talking about the plane taking off with the parasites, I was like, wow, this is such a huge like thing, and it's barely touched on.
yeah.
What are the parasites? They're just space parasites?
That's what this. It's like this movie is packed.
I feel
with
like
so
was it a
many,
book?
It must have been
It
some
would be
sort of
a really good book.
You know what I mean though? Because like even the gun, I thought this was for sure going to come into play. Gary Oldman's like a weapons dealer.
Okay, I had a
Of some
question
sort.
of that. So he's an arms dealer.
Yeah.
Okay, then
And-
that's why he wants the 4 elements.
So he can create chaos, and war, so he can financially gain.
Oh,
from
okay.
war.
Because I was like, what is his motivation? Why is he working for like Dr.
he lays it
Shadow
out
or
for
whatever?
that guy, for the priest.
Okay, I must have been
That's what
writing
he's
something
kind of
down.
talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's a gun that he's selling, and I thought this for sure was going to come into play. This gun is shaped like a giant Easter egg,
Mm-hmm.
and it has like a flamethrower, an ice ray, a net, a rocket launcher.
Just the plethora.
But this is the thing: it has a round that you shoot one bullet, and then the rest of the bullet. So he shoots at the dummy, and then he turns and faces all the aliens who are going to buy his gun, and he shoots at all of them. But all of the bullets go to where the original
Oh
bullet
yeah,
location
that was pretty cool. They
Super cool.
totally should have used that.
But it never came into play at all.
Yeah.
Nothing. No, the net never got used.
And I guess the whole thing with those aliens, the like troll aliens, is that they were just working for Zorp. Is it Zorp or Zorg?
Zorg, I think.
Okay. Zorg is Gary Oldman. So they were working for him?
Yeah.
Okay. But like they
Well-
were getting something out of it.
Well, hold on. What do you mean?
Like why did they stop the good aliens? Because okay, they realized that the evil planet
yes,
is
yes,
here.
yes. Yeah.
It's
okay.
growing, so they're like, oh shit. And then what I thought was really funny was the current priest who had all this knowledge passed down to him for the past 300 years, knows all about this evil and all about the 5th element and the other 4 elements and everything that you need to solve it. And he's like, no problem. My time is here. I'm here to shine.
Yeah.
He stands up and it says like, he's a priest and like a space, like aerodynamics expert or something.
Yeah.
I was like, so what are the priests? Are they like
I don't
Catholic priests, or are they like priests of the old, like
yeah, it's
the
some
gods?
sort of ancient order. or
Yeah,
something.
but they wear like
monk robes.
yes,
Yeah.
and with the little collar,
Yes.
with the little collar thing,
like-
right? With the
no,
little
I-
white.
I
Didn't he have
that,
that?
did I?
Oh.
I don't think so.
I'm just mixing it up with a different movie completely.
I could be wrong.
I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they're called priests, and then he's also like a scientist, like he's a space expert.
Well,
Never
Bruce
seen
Willis
that
is a
before.
taxi driver / secret agent,
/ car dealer.
car dealer.
Yeah, he's like flipping cars for finger.
What?
Yeah, there's this whole part of it where like so
Who the fuck is Finger?
remember he's on the phone with him all the time. He's that guy he's on the phone with all the time.
That's his like taxi boss, I thought.
Well, I don't think so. Maybe because he's asking about the condition of the car.
Yeah.
But like, I thought he was a thief in like a car, like he flipped cars or he stole cars. Because when the cops
police
were
scanners
chasing him,
say-
yeah.
I thought that was because he ran out of points on his license.
No, he like had a block so they couldn't even see how many points were on his license.
Do you see, guys?
It's so insane.
All of these details come into play.
in like 5 minutes.
You watch a man lose 50 points off of his license
In like 5 seconds.
in 5 seconds in this movie.
So
Jesus, I feel like I'm on meth.
he knows what to do, and so the benevolent aliens are coming to help. You know, they're like, we'll be back in 300 years, back in 1914. So now they're back.
God, we sound like psychos.
And
So
and they get
yeah.
intercepted by the troll aliens that are working for Gary Oldman.
Uh-huh. They get when they're coming back because the planets have
'Cause
aligned
they
and
have
Mr.
the
Shadow
fifth
has been
element.
released. Then they have the fifth element and they're coming
And
back.
the other 4, because you need
And
all
so
5.
Gary Oldman somehow knows about it and sent these troll aliens to come kill the robot turkeys to get the fifth element off of their ship.
I
And
love
then
this movie.
And then he gets the crate and then he brings it to Gary Oldman and Gary Oldman's upset because they were going to trade 4 weapon crates for the fifth element. And the box was empty.
Yeah, he had nothing,
Bum,
nada.
bum,
But like the ship was destroyed, and what's cool about this future civilization is that all they need is a like disembodied hand, and they can rebuild your entire body in 5 seconds.
Well, they can do it because this fucking hand that they find is
Which is a
of
man
supreme
hand.
being.
Yeah, what does that mean? Like a goddess?
It means
It meaned.
it mean it had. It means that it had denser DNA.
Oh yeah, it showed like because we have a double helix. It showed it had like way more.
Yeah, it was like
it's like a
normal
total
human
twist.
has 5,000.
It looked like a-
grams.
It looked like
This
one of
has
those like fried, those like
50,000.
churro dessert thingies that you get at Taco Bell.
Yeah,
That's what it looked like.
yeah,
That's what I thought of, and I said, and my belly rumbled.
yeah. I remember.
It was loud.
And then so they get scanned and it's like a big like, oh, it's a lady.
Yeah, well, because I thought it was like that they were rebuilding one of the aliens, and
I
then
did too.
So I was thinking, okay, they're
So-
rebuilding it without the armor, obviously.
Yeah, I thought they were rebuilding an alien also, and I thought they were all supreme beings that were guarding the fifth element.
Yeah, I had no idea that it was a person. The fifth
Super
element.
confusing to me also.
Yeah.
But then I remembered, oh, it was a tomb.
Yeah, it looked like a little like King Tut thing,
It's a King Tut thing with the guy's head,
a sarcophagus.
a sarcophagus with the guy's head at the top,
Right.
facing up, screaming
at the sky. Very
Yeah.
spooky.
Yeah, very weird.
Yeah, so and it was in alignment in that tomb.
Uh-huh.
So does she need that case? Or
She has to be in that temple.
okay, and she has to be in that position, but does she have does it work if she's in the case?
Yeah, no.
So they would have to open it.
I don't know.
So many unanswered questions.
Yeah.
So we need a sequel. We need a 6th element.
Okay. Holy, I'm having like
I feel like
head
the whole
rush.
movie is flashing before my eyes and I don't know where to start.
I
But we
know.
need to keep going on Bruce Willis because he's the best part of this.
Yeah.
And so this guy is ex-military. He's apparently a cab driver, but he's shitty at it because he's got all these points on his license.
Yeah.
But I
maybe
think in
that's
this
because he
world-
was doing criminal activity also. Maybe
It's
you're
unclear.
right about that. Yeah.
It's pretty unclear. But basically, they rebuild the fifth element and she jumps out the window and into his taxi.
One detail. About Jesus Christ.
That sentence.
One thing, because we're talking about the detail. This is really the best part of the movie is the little minute
Absolutely.
pointless details that you can't really discuss on a podcast.
It's
And
so
they're
because
not- it's not narrative like really.
no, and you don't need it to make the
Yeah,
movie good.
it's all world building.
It's
And
amazing.
It's just fun to be in it.
Like that's
You know
what I
what I
think
mean?
they did with Star Wars, and I might be speaking out of line, so forgive me if you're a really big fan and you know all about Star Wars, because
I've never
I don't
seen
want
the
to step
original
on your
trilogy.
toes. But like what I get from it is that they built the Star Wars world, and it's intoxicating. So they just keep making movies because it's so fun to make a story in that world. I wish they did that with this movie. I can see it being a franchise.
I'm scared. I think this is kind
they're
of a
not going
one-off.
to.
Yeah, this is like a one-off.
It's just kind of a shame because the world is so
Awesome.
It's so like so much work went into
Yeah.
it. It seems
But
like.
I think the fact that it's a one-off it gives it a rewatchability value
I
that
can
a
see
lot of
that.
other movies don't have.
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, one of the coolest details to me was in the future, the cigarettes basically have
We're
swapped.
backwards, yeah.
Because
the
it's
filter
all
was way
filter
bigger,
now,
yeah. Because
because
he's
they're
trying to
more-
quit smoking, so
Yeah.
you see him smoke a
So
couple times.
the cigarette part is a filter length.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh my god!
I thought that
that's
he
such a
was just
cool
so
detail.
messed up that he was smoking it the wrong way at first. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
at
even
first,
like the
because I
color
looked
is
at it and I
swapped.
was like, what? Yeah, but it's all filter.
Yeah.
Which is like, of course.
Yeah.
That's actually that's a smart way for.
Yeah.
It makes
if you're gonna
sense,
smoke,
too,
you should
you know what I
probably
mean?
guard yourself, as
Yeah.
much as you can.
I
Yeah.
just like I love that detail. He keeps going to the match box.
Mm-hmm.
They do show you that keeps going through matches. They make a point.
Okay, because
show you the matches.
I missed that because at the end it's like this big reveal. They need something to create the fire element, and he has one match left.
One match, and it
And
was
it's like,
stressful.
whoa,
It was stressful.
It was, but I was like, why is this significant? And now I know. I missed it or
Yeah,
ignored
they do a good
completely.
job doing
okay.
that, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So, but in this world too, there's flying cars, so that makes more sense. She
Okay,
jumps
yeah.
out of the building and into his flying taxi cab.
so she gets rebuilt. The fifth element, who is Mila
Jovovich.
Mila Jovovich.
Mila. With the
Mila-
vodka.
Mila Jovovich.
Ooh, yes. Wait, that wasn't.
Oof,
I don't even know.
it sounded like Luigi. Yes. But
It's a Mario.
so she gets built again.
Right. And she's freaking out.
She is in this tube, and they give her those sexy bandages,
Yeah, they call them like UV bandages or something like that.
like burn resistant
something.
bandages or something.
And I'm like, oh yes, just cover her nipples and her twat and her little like some parts of her belly and
Yeah.
like her shoulder. Like what?
But so and the colonel's like, I might need to take some pictures.
And he's like, oh, for the documents or something.
For documentation.
Yeah.
It's like super
You
getting
see
a
him
boner.
like jacking off.
Yeah. But so she's like freaking out. She's in this tube going, meow, blah, 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 blah,
Right.
blah, 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 blah. And they're like, you need to learn English if you want to get
You're
out.
American now.
Yeah. I'm a general, bitch.
Yeah, I'm from the South in New York City.
Yeah. So, and then they're like, is that glass safe?
Is the tube like impenetrable?
Yeah, and they go,
they're
it's
like,
unbreakable.
Oh yeah,
And then
she's-
she immediately punches through it. They
Not
never-
only that, but I thought for a second, which this is it's way out of character for the movie now that I'm in hindsight looking at it. But I thought that she like reached out and like totally went into his belly.
No.
She just punched him.
She punched through the glass and grabbed his shirt and pulled him to the tube
Okay.
to bonk his head and knock
I was like,
him out.
man, is she gonna grab his heart and rip it out? Because
No,
that would be so
crazy.
cool.
Yeah.
But she would be a totally different kind of character.
And then she takes his pass, gets out, she's freaking out, and she's going,
The police. So she's being chased by the police. Did you notice their like attire?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a lot of armor.
Yeah.
I
and their
feel-
stupid little hats.
Well, yeah, and it's like police.
Yeah.
And then we get that delicious scene where they're ordering McDonald's,
Oh, that was funny.
which it's not McDonald's in this movie, but it's the Golden Arches, so it clearly
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
And it's funny
it was
because
McDonald's.
I thought it was called something else.
I think it straight up was McDonald's though.
Okay, well, I don't know how they got away with that.
I think McDonald's
Sponsored them?
gave a little product placement. Yeah.
Could be. They were ordering food, the cops were. And like in this world, it's all hot, beautiful, young, punky ladies who work at
That
McDonald's.
is so funny too. Yeah, the flight attendants are
Yep.
all like wearing the shit, and
It's all
they're-
these like scantily clad, like fresh-faced young women who have like really cool haircuts and cool hair colors and
Yeah.
like,
but
dress
all
spunky.
of their shirts and their outfits have tit holes cut out for like with like some weird shaped
Yeah,
cup
right.
for your shirt.
Yeah. It's really
Their
I'm like
tits aren't fully hanging out. But
I'm
they
excited
are.
for future fashion.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really interesting ride. I'm fully expecting it to be exactly how they predict. And if it's
How
not,
this movie predicts?
I will be disappointed. I hope that they do how this movie is like in the future with the cities, how they just build upon the old, kind of like in Futurama, how old New York.
Uh-huh.
I think that's really like cool. I mean, I don't know how you would do it, but it's really cool. I wonder how high up they are.
Oh, and well, I mean, if you get flying cars,
I mean, and I don't understand
Sky's the limit.
too. I
Ariel winked at me.
I don't understand the traffic patterns.
Nobody does.
And I never did in Futurama either.
Yeah,
that shit is always crazy. But then, she's not allowed to be in his taxi, so he's like got a fugitive. So he's zipping around trying to avoid the police. And he goes into the fog.
Hold on, I just need to take
Gotta take a breather?
Yeah.
I was worried because we watched this 2 nights ago. I was worried that I would forget everything, but it's all coming back like fire.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah.
So she
I don't think we
jumps
missed
up,
anything.
She jumps out the window, lands in Bruce Willis's flying taxi cab.
Yeah. And at first he's like, no, I can't get in trouble.
Called it.
Wait, what is the band name?
Bruce Willis's flying taxi cab.
That's a long one.
It's pretty good though.
You're gonna have to abbreviate it.
Yeah. So
at first he's willing to comply with the police, but then she's hot.
No, she learned.
So he bails.
The power of boners is stronger than any
He's
police.
Fully no, I'm not gonna drive away. I have all these. I need these points on my license.
Yeah. So he looks back and he's talking, and she's going meow 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 meow, and he is like yeah, and she says big boom, big bada
They have a
boom.
moment. Yeah, bada boom. She's so cute. She's like
really
the perfect
cute.
actress for this.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, I understand. Boom, I'm a New York fucking tough guy.
Doesn't sound like Bruce at all.
I'm just the best I can do.
He sounded like a soprano.
A very difficult situation. So he's thinks she's cute, and then she looks at this. The police are there, and he's like, "Sorry, you got to get out."
Yeah.
He's complying with the police, and they're like, "You have a fugitive. We need to get her out of this thing." And we're never gonna get through all of this. But so the one question I have for you is, during that scene, she looks at the poster and says, "Please help."
Yeah, so can she can read.
All of a sudden?
No, not all of a sudden, because later she's like looking through encyclopedias to learn English. So it's almost as if she sees the word and then she can know it and knows what it means and stuff.
Well, she's got I thought it was a specialized for her.
Who made that?
Teaching program. The priests.
Oh, he just had it and he kept it updated?
No, I thought they got it from the aliens.
Oh, maybe. But it seems kind of redundant for the aliens to have the tools to teach her English and not teach it to her until she's... And when the aliens had her, was she awake?
Yeah, was she dead?
Or was she just sleeping in
did she exactly
sarcophagus?
look like that?
Right.
I don't know.
And what's weird too is that they give her different clothes to wear, still very revealing, and a thing to put makeup on. And I'm like, I'm sorry, is this relevant to saving the world? Hold on, not without my eyeliner.
Yeah, she has to look good. That's her whole
But she
power.
looked good without it, I mean. But yeah, I guess she needs to charm. She charms a lot of people, so
yeah.
I guess.
Okay, so holy fuck.
The fog is this part of New York that I'm assuming is old New York.
We have to skip the fog.
Okay.
We have to skip
this whole
basically
it. I mean, they don't really tell you. We have to just skip this whole podcast.
We have to skip this whole thing.
All right, well, let's get to
Holy
the next
shit.
Well, okay, we have to talk about the cherry scene with Gary Oldman.
The cherry?
Yeah, when he's choking on the cherry.
Yes. Talk about the fucking cherry scene.
All right, so Gary Oldman.
Because I have a question.
Okay. What's your question?
Let's set up the scene first.
All right, so Gary Oldman has a plastic half helmet on his bald head and
He's not bald. He has a little
chicken comb of hair sticking out from the top.
Is that what that's called? A chicken comb?
It looks like, yeah.
It's a perfect name for it if that's not what it's called.
And then his regular Gary Oldman face, and then, his regular future outfit from the future.
Yeah.
And he's, I guess, an arms dealer. He seems really powerful, but he's working for Dr. Shadow or whatever.
The evil planet that comes out when the planets are aligned.
Oh, and side note, when they shoot weapons at the dark planet, it gets bigger.
Yeah, that's a detail also.
It reminds me of it just does remind me of a black hole, but whatever. Or antimatter or something.
Yeah,
growing when it eats this, whatever.
Yeah.
And
this is when, by the way, Gary Oldman lays out his whole plot or his whole motivation.
And he's talking to the priest. The priest goes to see him for some reason.
And he's talking to the priest, and he's saying, listen, when chaos gets out, wars happen. And guess what happens when wars happen? People need guns.
Business is a booming.
Yeah. But so then chokes on a cherry.
Yeah, it seems really out of the blue. Like he has all these like robotic things in his office, and a thing flips up and it's like cherries.
Well, so he breaks a glass. He's like, I'm going to use this glass as an example. And when he's talking about chaos happening and everybody has little jobs to do.
It creates more jobs. This is his whole argument.
Which is what he's saying for
Right.
the arms dealers or whatever. So he breaks the glass and hits a button and all these little Roombas come out and they clean
All these
up.
Roombas. Yeah, they each have a separate function.
All these Roombas, band name called it. So
That's a good one.
So they start cleaning up all the glass, and he is like, "See, this is great." And then he pops a cherry in his mouth, like as a satisfaction.
And he doesn't bother to depit it.
Yeah, and he starts choking. So
Yeah.
when he's choking, the priest is now like, "Haha, I have the one up."
Yeah,
Because now
you're
chaos
dying.
is happening, and you're dying.
And I'm sorry. Do you need me?
What happens when you don't have something planned for how to deal with this kind of chaos? Blah,
Yeah,
blah,
and
blah, blah.
you don't realize that when you unleash this kind of war, it's going to kill you.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. So
Very
and
metaphorical, very wise.
It's
Yes.
totally the priest lucked out on this. By the
I
way.
know.
You know what I mean? Super lucky. And so Gary Oldman's panicking and slamming all these keys on his desk.
All these things are opening up.
He has like shirts pop up out of his desk. He has like I think a deck of cards goes
Yes.
like
In case he wants to
across
play
the
cards
room.
at work.
Like lights are flashing, and then
A box rises up.
a box rises up out of his desk. What the fuck,
And the baby animal,
Ariel?
Ryan.
Ariel, what the fuck?
It's a slug elephant.
What?
That's the only way I can describe it.
With human eyes?
Anime eyes, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Ariel.
It looks like
Ariel.
something out of a Dr. Seuss book.
It looks like something out of a Flintstones movie.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's a living. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What did it
totally does.
do?
I don't know, but later he's holding it.
It's alive. It's a live thing, and it smiles. It's smiling, and it's just like, has like a... It's so weird.
It's hard to look at. It's like when
Yes.
you watch that movie with Tom Hanks in it about the Polar Express. It's hard to
Uncanny
watch.
Valley.
Yes.
Because it does look weirdly human. They make it look like...
Like a baby.
Yeah, it's a fucking slug
It looks,
body
looks
with an
kind of
elephant
wet. Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
And human, like a
Like
dog
purple
mouth.
eyes.
And human eyes. And it's like going...
Oh,
just like rocking back and forth.
eh?
And it lives in Gary Oldman's desk.
In a small like shoebox.
The worst kind of zoo.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like a literal prison cell.
Yeah.
Was he sleeping?
What does it do?
It's I think just his pet.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
It's another really, really weird detail.
That is so. That
I
freaked
need
me
to
out.
know way more about his character than we get to know.
Totally, because then he ends up. The priest knocks the fucking cherry pit out of his throat, and he spits it at the slug worm elephant, and he's like, and he's just like, yeah. And then you're right. Later, he is holding him, and the trunk is going around his neck and stuff.
Yep. It's like
He
loves it. Okay, and then I really wanted to talk about this, but it requires so much explanation.
I think honestly, we have to talk about Chris Tucker.
Okay, right before I can't with him.
Yeah.
Right before we talk about Chris Tucker, there's a small scene where the aliens are trying, or the people who work for Zorg are trying to infiltrate and they're trying to figure out what the president knows. So he infiltrated the president's office with a roach. And he has the balls to climb onto the top of the desk and race towards the president. And I was thinking, this is not discreet. What is he doing?
He's controlling a living roach with some sort of like weird
Some
satellite
kind of like
electronic
Pickle Rick thing.
Yeah, backpack thing.
Yeah.
And it's obvious that this roach has something on its back.
I mean, and it's also a large palmetto bug.
Yeah, it's a big roach.
Yeah.
And you're right, he does just charge straight at the president. The president
What
kills
the
it.
fuck?
And then the guy goes, ah! Like it made a loud noise.
Like it hurt him?
It made a loud noise in his headphones.
So military people came to talk to Bruce Willis, by the way. Bruce Willis loves Mila. He gets her to the priest's house.
Like
so
instantly.
the priests are dealing with Mila.
He kisses her while she's
He
asleep.
kisses her awake like it's Snow White.
Yep.
She's
but
uncomfortable.
But it was cool because she was like, he thought it was going to be like that traditional bullshit. And she puts a fucking gun to his head and is like, Naka blah blah.
Yeah.
Loka ludu.
Yeah. And he's like, yep, you know what? It probably was a bad idea to do this.
And he asked what she was saying, and she said, never without my consent.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, sister.
That's right. It stays relevant. And then, but so the priest is like dealing with Mila's like Fifth Element bullshit, right? And God, so then the military people arrive at Bruce Willis's apartment, and they're like, "We need you for the secret mission. You need to go to this Paradise Island."
Yeah,
because that's where the elements are, the 4 elements.
Yeah, because
they're inside that
singer.
Diva. Yeah, there's a singer who is a diva.
Who's a diva? Who's the alien? Who's the blue one? Who you thought was the dreadlock haver?
Her name is Plava Laguna.
Plava Laguna, the diva.
Yeah.
She's the one who's now the actual keeper of the stones of the elements.
Right.
I'm exhausted. Yeah, that scene is also crazy because he's hiding people all around this like super small apartment.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
People in the fridge, puts her on top of his fridge, which the fridge rises and lowers, which is
pretty
super
cool. Yeah.
It's another awesome detail.
Yes, we need to know more. And the bed folds out and it cleans itself.
Yeah,
very convenient.
Wraps it with plastic. And did he kill those 3 guys? Did he freeze them to death?
Thought I have a note in here that says
puts them in the freezer.
Are
and then
those
forgets about
military people dead? But then they're in like a scene later, so they must have thought out.
You're right. He's talking to the president later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so that happened.
So
now
they have to fake that he won some kind of contest to get to this Paradise Island, so he can go see the diva, the alien opera singer,
who has the stones,
which are the 4 other elements, which are needed to do the ritual, which will cause that need to work in tandem
to
with
make
the
Mr.
5th
Shadow
element
go
to
away.
make Mr. Shadow, the evil planet, disappear.
So at the same time, we have Mila and the priest working to get the stones, but then we also have this separate story of Bruce Willis working to get the stones by the authority of the government, who's hired him to do this.
Yeah.
So it seems like everyone is trying to get to this Paradise Island.
Yeah.
And
there's a
talk show.
There's a lot of factions who want these stones. Gary Oldman has people. The bad troll aliens want to get the stones before Gary Oldman does, so they can like blackmail him or as revenge because he blew up a bunch of their guys.
Right, because they didn't deliver correctly.
Yeah. So there's the troll aliens who want shit. There's Gary Oldman who wants shit. There's
the president.
The president who wants shit.
There's Mila and the priest.
and
so we're seeing all these people at the same time. And what I loved that this movie does pretty consistently throughout the whole thing is that the transitions from scene to scene, it's like they're finishing each other's sentences like in Archer.
Yeah, it does
totally
just like
cool.
Archer.
Yes. So if you know what we're talking about with Archer, like it's like they're looking at something and they're like, it's almost like he's holding a, and then this next scene is like, penis, or whatever the thing is.
It's almost like he's holding a penis. It is. I'm sure they get what
it's
you mean.
fun. It's super fun to
fun.
like have transitions like that.
But,
so this Paradise Island. There's
hold on. So the way he gets to the Paradise Island is because the military fakes like he won a radio contest.
Yep.
And this is where the contest he won this contest which is hosted by a radio host, the most popular one in the universe, I guess. Which is where Chris Tucker comes into play.
Chris Tucker.
Boy.
Talk about needing an Oscar.
Yeah.
For his performance.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I was like I was blown out of the water.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I've never seen him in anything else.
You never seen Rush Hour?
What? Rush Driver?
Rush Hour.
I think I saw it like when I was in like a preteen, so I had this idea.
Do you understand the way
Yeah,
that are coming
right.
into my mind?
Yes.
Yeah.
I knew like that character. So I've that's the idea I have of Chris Tucker. He's like a funny guy, but he's pretty regular.
This is the most Chris Tucker could ever tucker.
Okay, well, it seems really off the wall. So I thought his acting performance was like
they
really
took like
good.
his like my thing is that I talk like that, and they, you know what I mean,
Yes.
and they amplified it because like he's walking around like
He's wearing lipstick.
The music
is
also like
yeah. He has like a really like a flamboyant talk show.
He has a fucking dick
Yes.
on his head.
Yes, it's bleach blonde.
a bleach blonde dick on his head.
It's floppy.
And he's walking around with this in a skin tight
Leopard print.
skin
Yes.
with a giant collar.
Mm-hmm. And he has lipstick on, and he has like a cane.
A cane, which is his microphone, and he's
That's
like
right.
he's going, and that's what I know. Woo! And it's like echoing and making crazy sound effects. And he's going, do you have something to say, brother? And he puts the microphone in Bruce Willis's face.
How do you feel about it? And he's like, thrilled.
Yeah. And then he's upset because he's not playing along with the show. He's doing a boring show.
But he's obviously really famous and everyone loves him.
And he's like eating a girl out for a whole scene.
He's highly sexual.
He's got a dick on his head.
Yeah, but like also because
every girl thinks he's sexy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a really, and I know I've said this before about in like other movies, but it reminded me of the Hunger Games.
Everything reminds you of the
Okay,
Hunger
but
Games.
if you think about how the Capitol was like so crazy flamboyant like that, do you know what I'm talking about?
Kinda, yeah.
I feel like he would fit in there.
Yeah.
So, and I could see him being one of the talk show hosts, like just super, because he's, I don't want to say he's fake because he's like
No, I
that
get
off
it.
the
I
air
totally get what
also,
you mean,
but yeah, I don't know. He's like only present for the last, I don't know,
Last
30% of the movie.
Yeah.
But he is such a highlight, especially the big battle scene or whatever.
Awesome battle scene.
He's streaming the whole time.
Yeah.
It's
Which would have been
good.
some great. He's like, that was the best show I ever did.
Yeah. That voice, you did a spot on impression.
Yes, that whole action, and then it turns into Die Hard, like at the end.
Oh yeah, so
The
Bruce
last third of
Willis
this is
does
Die
the
Hard.
Bruce Willis thing.
Yeah.
Basically,
He's walking around, his shirt's getting slowly destroyed as the thing's going on.
my abs must come through.
He's blowing people up, gun. It's fucking awesome, even though these aliens look like Muppets.
Right, and it's clearly like is a hilarious situation, and it's although it feels like or it is a high stress situation, it doesn't feel high stress.
Yeah, it's goofy.
It's so
kind of.
goofy.
Yeah, because the whole climax of the movie happens with like simultaneously with the divas performance.
Okay, so yeah, we didn't really talk about that.
Yeah,
her singing is really amazing.
It's cool.
It's
And
really
then
cool. And then
it starts off. It's so like traditionally like opera, and it's kind of good. Actually,
is
for
good.
what I understand opera to be, I think it's good.
It is.
And then it kind of takes a beat, and then Mila Jovovich is fighting these Muppet the troll aliens.
Yes.
And when
she's
she
a
starts to
badass.
fight, the
beat
opera
drops.
singer, the beat drops on her, and she's like, and it's
We just took that clip from the movie.
Yeah, that was that was audio from it. Please don't sue us or copyright strike us. But that was a pretty cool bit.
It was really cool. And then this diva lady, Plava Laguna, is like so weird.
Plava
and
Laguna, so good.
Such a good name. She's weird.
Mila
in a really...
Jovovich's name is Lilu.
Lilu.
Hated that.
Was she 5? That was
Yeah.
a name I made up for myself when I was 5.
Lilu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
You can't see this, but my eyes are rolled so far back in my head that I can
Yeah.
see my brain. And then yeah, we have like the endings. Like that's where it kicks off, kind of, because the aliens break into the theater.
Yeah, it's
and
like
all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, they're
They
blowing
shoot
shit up,
the
they're killing
opera
people.
singer.
Yeah, and then the stone. She's like, the stones are hidden in me.
The stones are inside me.
Okay, Bruce Willis. I wouldn't have done this.
He
so good for him.
decides.
He's like, he's
You
thinking
know
about
what?
it. And he goes, does she mean literally? And he looks down and he's like, there's this fresh bullet wound here.
Let me just stick my hand
Let
in
me
there.
stick my whole fucking arm into her Oh, what do you know?
He doesn't even-
giant stones.
He doesn't even check her pulse first.
No.
I mean, she's dying, but
Yeah, she got shot, but she was
she
talking
could still be
4
alive.
seconds ago.
Yeah.
And these are stones the size of a Jenga box.
I mean, yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
The size of a Jenga box. This
yeah.
alien has 4.
She's a big lady, but like,
Come on.
she must not have any other organs.
Yeah.
But I did like how her blood was like green.
Yeah.
I thought it was because she's blue. It was pretty cool, and her tears were green. I thought that was neat.
Fucking A. So they get the stones. There's a whole lot of like swapping. Like, you thought the stones were here, but they're actually here.
There's a lot of empty boxes, and then Gary Oldman coming back and shit.
Gary Oldman's
And there's
getting upset,
bombs.
and bombs going off, and
Like, so
guys,
this paradise area is getting evacuated, and shit is so crazy at this point.
Guys,
Oh, and not to mention that Chris Tucker is screaming the whole time.
the whole time. It's like that whole last bit is like Bruce Willis going, "Have you ever seen this before?" Or like count to 10,
And then Chris Tucker's like,
going,
"Oh my god!"
What do you mean? I can't count to 10.
Or
I'm kind of
just,
doing
like-
Aziz Ansari a little bit.
No. I mean, I don't think so.
You
I think
it's Chris
that's
Tucker for
yes,
sure?
100%.
Okay. And then the bomb, he'll be like, "Just count," and he's like, and a bomb blows up, and he's freaking out. And that's like the whole. It just is that pattern, which is.
But it's fun, and it doesn't last for too long.
I kind of love it.
Yeah, it's good.
I would love for them to be a buddy cop. Like,
No,
do
I
a
would be
movie.
super annoyed with Chris
think
Tucker
so?
is super annoying in this. I mean, he's funny because
super
it's
annoying,
not
but
for too long.
I am enjoying because Bruce Willis is annoyed by him.
Yeah.
You know what
He
I mean?
rolls
So
his
I'm
eyes,
enjoying
he's
that
like, ugh,
part.
yeah.
You're totally right though.
A whole movie of that would be a
that
lot of
would be
much.
a bit much.
But they balance out, and like, yes, he's tactically amazing. He rescues Mila because she got shot, and they leave just in the nick of time.
Yeah. And
They're like
they get
hurrying, trying to get to the tomb that was in the beginning
that
part.
seems like that should have been. It seems like so many movies have happened to you already.
Oh my god,
You know what I
I
mean?
felt aged.
Yeah. It was like, okay, we're done now, right? Nope. They still have to
It's
do
like-
the whole ritual part.
It's like Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, where it kept fading to black and then like
Yeah,
back up, and
that's
I'm like,
still-
oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. So they do the whole ritual part and they succeed, and that's when they find out that wind you have to blow on, water you have to.
They're literally
drain
blowing
sweat
on the stones, squeezing their sweat onto the stone.
The guy just the earth one was hilarious to me. He just takes some of the
Some
dirt
sand.
off of the thing, he
Sprinkles
cleans
it on
off,
top.
the dust that's on
Yeah.
it, and just goes
I'm
throws
like,
it on top.
Okay,
And then,
not really Earth, but all right.
And this, what do you think? How long do you think this movie takes place? It's like what, 2 days tops?
Oh my god, like yeah, at the most 2 days.
Yeah. And Bruce Willis.
I
is
think
in
at the
love with
beginning
Lulu.
actually they have that the president gives him time, like he's on a timer.
Mm.
Right? Or is
I
that
don't
just at the
remember.
very end? At the very end, he definitely is for the 2 hours. He's like 2
Okay.
hours tops, like an hour and 57 minutes before
Okay.
Mr. Shadow engulfs everything. The Shadow Man.
There's a point in the movie where Mr. Shadow. Did we talk about the phone call?
No, he calls Gary a little bit. He calls Gary Oldman because of what? He's
they're like-
checking in. He's just checking in.
Yeah, they're monitoring the planet, or Mr. Shadow, and they go, "Oh, it's sending off radio waves."
The president is like this,
Yeah, and
or
he's
at
like,
least
what the
the
hell does it
military.
need radio waves for? and
That's how he talks.
and then it cuts to Gary Oldman. He gets
Well, the receptionist is like, "You have a phone call."
yeah, you have a phone call, and he said, I don't want any. I said no disturbances, and she said, well, no disturbances except for Mr. Shadow, and it's Mr. Shadow, and Gary Oldman's heart
Breaks into a sweat
stops.
immediately.
Yeah, and he's like,
He can't even
Hello?
function. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so then he has to like basically lie and say, "Oh, I have the stones, or I know where they are." He like Mr. Shadow is literally just checking in, right? He's not. There's no point really.
yeah, he's kind of just like,
Just like, "How's it going, buddy?"
I'm gonna kill everyone. I'm evil. And then Gary
By the
Oldman
way, I'm evil.
gets motor oil dripping down his forehead.
I thought it was blood though because
I
it
thought
looked
it was
kind of
blood
red.
at first, but then he smears it and it's brown.
Oh,
It was shit.
is it coming from his weird helmet thing?
Was it Mr. Shadow like touching him?
Wait, like in like
From
telepathically?
across- Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
No one knows.
There's no. You know what? There's no answers.
And you know what? We don't have time to talk about it anymore.
We could actually have a separate podcast all about The Fifth Element, I think.
This movie.
And it would have at least 10 episodes.
God, holy shit! This movie is bonkers.
It's barely over 2 hours, I think.
You know, watching it, I had a great time.
Mm-hmm.
I was
It's a
smiling the whole
blast,
time.
yeah.
It's except for the beginning. The beginning, it was like, oh boy, this isn't what I thought it
Oh,
was.
brother.
Yeah, and then as it kind of kept going, I was like, okay, and once I got comfortable into
The groove.
the groove
Yeah.
of the movie, I started to like it. But doing this podcast, I'm like sweating.
It's just I feel like I want to do it justice, so I don't want to miss
Right,
anything.
me too. But it's impossible to.
But the
squeeze
story
this
is
in.
it's like just so multifaceted.
We have
Film was
lives.
definitely the best
We don't have
medium
time.
to purvey this story.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we covered that as much as we
Yeah.
possibly
I mean,
can.
in the end, it's basically that he tells her he loves her, and that
in
saves
the span
everybody.
of 2 days, yeah.
Yeah.
And super cheeseball. No, the very end is them fucking in the tube
That's
that she was
right.
birthed in.
Yeah. Or rebuilt at least.
Rebuilt in, I mean.
Yeah, they are going to give him some kind of commendation, both of them.
Yeah, the president's
president
there.
is there.
And there's a whole fucking point of the movie where Bruce Willis has an annoying mom.
Oh my god, I was going to say, that never gets resolved.
No.
Like, she just thinks he's a
She
shithead the
has
whole time.
some serious issues
Yes.
she's like trying to work out.
He has issues too. His character, like, should be really sad, but he's just too funny for that.
He's a cool guy.
Like, he has all these, like, Purple Heart awards, and he
Yeah,
just throws them aside. Like,
Yeah.
and he lives in this shithole apartment in Brooklyn.
And he has a Chinese man deliver food to
That
his
shit
house.
was cool.
That was fucking cool.
That's
right?
why
The
I want to
boat
live
thing.
in that New York.
That was cool.
It just flew to his window.
Why was it? And it was like a boat.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
opened the window and just like ordered fresh food, and then the boat just drove away.
Yeah.
It flew away, and I was
was
like,
cool.
"This is legitimate."
The details, guys. I can't.
Everything is in the details in this
It's
movie.
it's all about that, and it's the best part about it. And to me, I think this movie's a great success.
Yeah, it did exactly what I think it was trying to do. This movie was made in 1997.
Wow.
Just for some reference, yeah. It
Wow.
looks better than that.
Totally.
Yeah,
It holds up really well, and you know why?
because it's practical effects.
Lack of CGI.
Yeah, 100%. Because if you
It's the way
go
to
back
go, man.
even and watch like the first Hobbit or maybe the second one, whichever one has Smaug, I mean, he already looks like shit.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Like how much money went into that?
Oh, I know.
Ugh.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we have nothing left to do but rating time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with you first.
Okay. Well, I think this movie is
Sum it up.
it's a solid 7 out of 10.
Oh my god. Okay.
I couldn't think of an item
Okay.
because there's so much bullshit in this
Yeah.
movie.
There's
There's no one significant item. I guess I could say it's 7 elements out of 10.
Oh. Okay.
Like
pretty
solidly, because it gets more points with me because it's funny.
good. Yeah.
I just feel like, and it's hard for me to really give an honest rating because I feel like I watch every movie and I just love every movie.
Well, we are doing pretty good movies. I mean, there's a
That's
reason
true,
people
yeah.
say you have to watch these
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
So
I think a solid 7.
But there are some ones that you have to watch that you have to hate watch because you know what I mean. Some people say you
Yeah,
have to
because
watch
they're actual shit.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're so bad you have to watch it. So we'll tackle some of those too. So don't worry.
Hang in there. Buckle your seatbelts.
Yeah. So okay,
What
7.
about you?
I think this movie is a fucking blast.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
There's really nothing not to like about it. I mean, unless you just don't like the genre.
I mean, it's so fucking refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I've never seen a movie like this.
Like I said, it kind of reminded me of Star Wars.
It kind of reminded me of the same vibe of RoboCop a little bit,
Yeah.
but it executes it so much better.
And way more, like in a
It's
funny,
way
like good.
more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's better than RoboCop.
Yeah,
For
I
sure.
do too. But RoboCop wasn't my favorite.
Yeah, I think I like that more than you
Mm-hmm.
did. But if you're looking for some fun sci-fi action,
Well,
if
what's
you-
your
if you're
rating?
It's hard to say.
I
'cause
know,
this
it's like I
movie-
have a different scale for like comedies than I do for hard-hitting serious movies.
My
But,
rating
you know.
is 8. Parasite balls inside of my landing gear.
It's a deep cut.
Okay,
you're gonna have
8
to watch.
elements out of 10
Okay.
for this movie.
Yeah.
I think if you like sci-fi, and like I said, I always say what makes sci-fi good are the details.
That's a good rule, honestly.
That's the truth.
yeah,
to
because
sci-fi.
if you skimp on the details, people are going to be like,
That's
"Oh, wait."
Every episode of Star Trek, the only good part of Star Trek is when they're like, "Wait, if we take this fluctual plane," and you're kind of like, "Oh, that's a smart idea."
Yeah.
It's all about the details.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, 8.
Okay.
8 out of 10.
Nice.
And then I guess we have to say at the same time, you either say manor, pit, or purgatory. Okay.
Okay.
I'll count to 3.
Wait, I thought purgatory was if we just disagree.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So just say manor or pit. Okay.
Well, what if it's neither?
It has to.
Okay.
You have to pick one, and purgatory is only if we split.
All right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the only thing that makes sense.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Manor.
Wow.
I mean, it definitely doesn't. Look at it
Wow,
go.
wow, wow. Wow.
Here we see
wow,
the Fifth
wow.
Element walking down the red carpet.
Look how it looks great.
What is it wearing?
Wow, wow, wow.
Looks like tape on
Looks
his
like
boobs.
tape on, nipple tape. Wow, wow, wow.
It
Congratulations.
definitely doesn't deserve the pit.
Absolutely not.
To me, it's a little weird to put it in the manor because I feel like the manor should be like, critically acclaimed things. But
Well, okay, see, we don't really have a good.
but let me defend it because I think it is one of those movies that I would say you have to see because it's just awesome.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. It's not really good.
It's the must-see manner.
Yeah.
You must see.
Yeah, I mean, I recommend seeing it. I would recommend it to a friend.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the only qualification for the manor.
Yeah.
Is if it's something that I say we agree you must see.
I think you need to see Signs. I don't think you need to see Legally Blonde. I do think you need to see Fifth Element.
I think you must.
You must.
You must.
You
see.
musta. You mustard.
Well, fucking A.
Mr. Mustard.
I literally am like,
Colonel Mustard.
whew.
I opened up the windy.
I'm telling you, man, this
It's
is
hot
like
in
running
here.
a fucking marathon.
I tell you, this is hell that we're in right now.
Mhm.
There's too many electronics. There's so many screens in here.
Well, we'll be moving
I'm
soon.
becoming. I've caught ADHD just from being in here.
So. I've got ADHD from doing this episode.
This was like
Yeah.
all over the place.
Okay, so I guess do you have any recommendations you'd like to leave with the people?
Let's see. I'm still dreaming about those banana waffles, but I haven't had one in a while. Anything new? Not really. Not really.
No.
I don't have anything this week. Do you?
Ariel has convinced me through science and facts and logic to try to take on veganism.
Yeah.
So
For the animals and for the planet and shit.
yeah.
So we're gonna try it.
So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it a Scout's honor. I'll be reporting on the podcast.
Okay, you're
if
gonna
it's
document
worth
your
it.
progress
Why
on
not?
your journey.
Why not?
That's
Why
cool.
I've tried all kinds of the other crazy shit.
Keto.
I've tried keto.
Carnivore,
I've tried the carnivore diet.
regular standard American.
I love extreme things. I'm a little
Yes.
bit of a masochist. Like I like to be like, ooh, that sounds like it's really hard. Like I took cold showers for a little while
Yeah, you fucking psycho.
in the dark with Norwegian black metal playing.
Yeah, and I'm like,
and I'm not joking.
can we just enjoy showers? Why do you have to take
I know,
showers away from us?
I like to do things that are difficult for
You
some
just
reason.
should.
I don't know.
What you just described seems like you should just be in Norway.
I know that to be true.
I would love that.
Yeah, I know that to be true. Maybe
Ever
one
since
day.
I saw that episode of Metalocalypse with Toki.
Has our dog been snoring like that the whole
Oh,
time?
if you're hearing snoring, that's our dog.
I
Yeah.
haven't even been paying attention
I
to
haven't
that.
either. We'll hear that later. I recommend getting a giant red
Listen
pit
to
bull.
that. Hold on.
Snoring. Hang on.
Oh, now he's going to
His mouth is twitching. He's dreaming.
Okay. Well,
Oh, he's dreaming.
yeah, he is. Okay.
That's our show. If you guys want to email us at sayhellottomylittlefilm@gmail.com, you can email us recommendations. You can email us movies that you want us to do, or your thoughts on our podcast episode, or if we got anything wrong, or if we just pissed you off, or if we just suck.
Yeah, whatever.
Just let us know. And then we also have an Instagram, and it's just called Say Hello to My Little Film.
Yep.
And we post the movies that we're going to do, and we post when our new episode is out. And sometimes we might become a little bit more active on that. I
Yeah.
think that we should. So
Okay.
maybe we'll get more into that.
Great.
But that's how you can find us. And that's it, folks.
That's that.
C'est la vie.
C'est la vie, movie bitches.
Goodbye.